We must have the only cemetery that has an Easter egg hunt. You know, the boss is trying to get people to come in. I mean, really, people are dying to get in here. But, you know, having an Easter egg hunt while the kids are running around the tomb. We had one kid that banged his head on a tombstone. Who are they going to sue? Not this guy, but it's a bad place to have an Easter egg hunt. Oh, man. I am so glad that it's Good Friday and we're off. Whew. I get, trust me, after this, after chasing those kids around and then picking up all the wrappers and all the plastic eggs that got stomped on and broken, let me tell you something. We got a lot of work because Easter's a huge deal in the graveyard and we don't want a mess. But no, the boss decided, hey, let's do this Easter egg hunt. Oh, my goodness. What? Phone's ringing. But I'm off today. It's my Easter break. Well, folks, here we go. Welcome to Cemetery Cinema. Well, folks, looks like I'm on my own tonight. Let's get those gates going. Oh, God. Let me tell you something, guys. It's rough out there. It's one of those days where I'm stepping on eggshells and I'm picking up candy wrappers. Not going to be a good day for this guy. You know what I'm saying? But welcome to Cemetery Cinema, where we showcase movies from the past, the present, the future, and beyond. And we got a boatload of independent movies coming up. Now, after I got done cleaning up all the Easter eggs and the candy wrappers and all the other stuff from this world famous Easter egg hunt in the cemetery, I saw the boss. He actually loaded a dumpster up in the back, and he's been all the stuff that I've been dropping off in the wheelbarrows. He's literally been shoveling it. He has his big old, looks like a snow shovel, but like, you know, like the King Kong version of snow shovel, and he's picking everything up and throwing it into the dumpster. There must have been like a million Easter eggs. It looked like a psychedelic, psychedelic ape threw up all over the place. I have never seen that much pink and purple and yellow in my entire life. But let's stop. Oh, he's on the phone. Hey, boss. You got me a superhero movie? Yes! Oh my God, guys. He got us a double feature superhero movie. The first superhero horror movie that we got on Cemetery Cinema. And I don't count the Hero. Because that was not a superhero. You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait for this. Oh my goodness. What did he send us? Oh my God. What? Where's the paperwork? Oh, okay. So, it's the Xknight series, right? With our good friend Jim Canatelli, who was the Gorton fisherman, the bake shop owner from Slaughter Beach, which we showed back on Labor Day last year. Oh my God. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a great movie because it's actually a comic book, right? And I've been reading the comics for a while, and it's really good. It's reminiscent of Spawn, of Max, right? The old comics, Spawn and Max used to be on HBO, right? This is fantastic. So what you got? All right. Okay. While Rockwood City masked hero Xknight is battling the sea demon pirates, he must battle his own demons in the purgatory world of Warpel. For if he doesn't, his soul will not be the only one lost in the darkness. Written and directed by Jim Canatelli, the man, the myth, the legend, who was the crazed fisherman from Slaughter Beach. Guys, this is fantastic. I wish the doc was here instead of him sitting up with his foot in a cast or his leg in a cast up at his recliner at home. Hey, if you guys are out there, send him some fruit baskets. Don't send flowers. Nobody likes flowers, right? So, guys, and right off the bat, this is not for the kids. A lot of superhero gore, right, and a little bit intense for them. But for you, this is the movie. It ain't Marvel, right? But let me tell you, it ain't DC, and that's better. So, guys, get your popcorn, pop on your recliner, sit back, and enjoy the double feature of Xknight. And we'll be back. Yo, how did you like the final cut? That was fantastic. And the visuals in that were really, really, I loved it a lot. But the boss set us up to do an interview not only with Jim Canatelli, but the cast of both versions of the X Night movies. I can't wait. But we got it recorded, and here it is.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Greetings, warriors! Today we have the cast of Xknight on our show. It's fantastic. Jim Canatelli is he's the writer, director. He was in the movie, right? And if you guys remember him, we had Slaughter Beach on Labor Day weekend last year, right? And he was the crazy captain fisherman, and he owned the bait shop. And Jim's one hell of an actor, you know. So the movie we were going to present tonight, we actually have a double feature. It's going to be both Xknight movies. The first Xknight movie is a short version, right? And is from Jim. Is that pretty much what your test movie was for the first one?
Yeah, the short film is only 30 minutes long and made from my own comic book series. And it was an experiment that my friend Jason Smith, who was my cinematographer, and we wanted to see what kind of limitations we had to the special effects, because the superhero, he has some powers, and plus filming fight scenes is always tricky, as Dolby will attest to, because in the feature film he was our fight coordinator as well. And so after doing the short film, which came out in 2019, a couple years later, we started working on the feature length film, and so I fleshed out the story, and I already had a few amount of comic book stories to flesh out the story with various villains, growing as rogues gallery. Big changes people will see from the short film to the feature is there's different actors playing the characters, because sometimes that happens in movie making. So the my distinguished cast here, they're in the feature film Xknight Escape from Warpel. Our original actor who played Xknight in the short film, Christopher Reinig, did a great job, and his reason for not playing the hero in the second movie was simply he just didn't feel confident in playing the hero. There's a lot of dramatic scenes between Xknight and his wife, and rekindling a relationship with his abusive mother. But we had a lot of villains in the feature. We had this pirate captain. Christopher was like, "Ooh, I can play that guy. I love pirates." And yeah, once we started filming with him and Dolby as Xknight, it's like, oh yeah, this is where it came, the actual vision came through. And so yeah, we had to recast some other people. Just yeah, life happens and some people just weren't available, but those characters were crucial to the story that we were telling. So,
So, so tell me about your comic book. How did that? What was your inspiration for doing the comic?
so ever since I was a kid, I was really inspired by Tim Burton's like Batman movies,
Hmm.
The Shadow, which is an old 1930s comic book, and Alec Baldwin made a movie. So I was really into like gothic superheroes and making cheap little movies with my camcorder and action figures. I always want to create my own gothic hero. So
Hmm.
um, when I was like a senior in high school, I really started just drawing concepts of different like suits, ideas, and Xknight, I made his first comic in 2015. So this kind of like the
Wow.
10th anniversary of him as I'm working on his newest comic book. And in the first comic or first few issues, his costume was a little bit different. He always had the black and white mask, the X,
Hmm.
but he had like a hooded cloak originally. Then I got
Hmm.
rid of that, swapped it out for just a trench coat for him to wear, and um, yeah, adding various villains over the time and giving him the tragic hero backstory of how he lost a
Hmm.
loved one to a violent crime, and I will avenge thee, and all that stuff. So it's just a lot of fun to do. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to making a comic book over a movie. Um, for one thing, making a comic book, you can draw your characters to be anywhere, anything happening. You don't have to worry about weather conditions or anything like that. But then adapting it into a film is always the next step.
Hmm.
So, hey, there's Austin.
Hi.
Hello, Austin.
Hello. How's it going?
Good,
So
man.
far, so good.
Good. Sorry.
Yeah, he hasn't trashed you yet. No.
Oh,
This man is. So yeah, Austin and Natalie play one of the many X-Knight villains. Austin played Death Skull, and Natalie Sandone played X-Knight's mother, Monica, and Nikki plays X-Knight's deceased wife, Amy Spandoli.
Mhm.
And but yes, the comics started in 2015, and it's still an ongoing independent series, and it's been a lot of fun. And through that, I even spawned a second superhero that's in the same
Mhm.
universe. Her name is Dr. Nightmare, and she was a victim that was saved by X-Knight on a couple of occasions and was inspired by him to save people in her own way. So,
Mhm. Wow. So you do the artwork and the writing for the comic?
yes, yep,
Wow.
yeah,
That's that's great.
thank you.
Because I mean, I I'm assuming because when you're doing it yourself, you have your own vision, you can get it all done. But I know, like in the regular comics, like the guy that's writing it is like in California. The guy that's doing the artwork is probably up in Vancouver. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, having it all in one house, in one head, probably makes it a whole lot better, Kind of
it
reminds
does.
me of like the Ninja Turtles when they did theirs,
Yeah,
Eastman, they did all that themselves. Back the original Ninja Turtles, where it
yeah,
wasn't pizza eating goofballs. It was serious.
yeah. The black and white
But oh yeah,
version. Was it
yeah.
Merid?
And it was Eastman, something Eastman, I think it was called. Because they actually spawned off and oh, Spawn, that's the comic I was thinking
Yeah,
of. That you just brought that up. But then it spawned off a comic called Cerebus, right? And then that spawned off another comic, which was The Tick. If you remember The Tick, it had a Netflix series, had a Fox cartoon, right? It was actually a Fox series with Putty from Seinfeld,
oh, yeah. I have
right? Yeah, and he,
I have the DVD. He is the
yeah,
perfect action body.
that was hysterical. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, a guy could probably be like Einstein, but the way he acts and the way he talks comes off as like you know, somebody got hit in the head too hard playing rugby, you know. But
Yeah.
so let's talk about some of the other guys here. So Dolby, right? You were Xknight and you were Xknight in the feature, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, how was it? How was it doing that? And what was your inspiration for it? Because I know like he had said that you're the fight coordinator, right? So when you took on this part, right? I mean, when you're having fight, basically it's like a dance with fists when you're doing the choreography for all that. Oh yeah. Hello? You're
I was just saying
silent.
that would be a great band name.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey,
He's
what's
a great
up?
guy. He's a great guy.
Good. You was he owe you money? So, so how did you come to get the part? You know, what's your inspiration with the part and things like that?
Well, inspiration, I was still in the process of learning how to act, really. So my inspirations are mostly just at the time, Vincent Price, how I imagined he would do something like that. Because I grew up being a huge Vincent Price fan, not knowing too much about fight choreography of itself, because I am trained in martial arts, but training in martial arts is different than staging a fight. So
Mm-hmm.
that
What's your
was
discipline?
Muay Thai,
Muay-
and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Okay.
So like learning that is different from learning how to choreograph anything. And I'm actually learning how to do that more properly now with some of my friends out in the Lancaster area. But so more often than not, it was just me, like it was a good learning process for me to, because like I like being goofier than straight face and serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of what my personality is. And also trying to treat it as like similar to how Vincent Price treated his movies. He always had tried to bring light to his roles, even though he would play a lot of dark stuff. So that was a big inspiration of mine.
Mm. Wow. Hey, Vincent Price, he's a legend. He's the man, the myth, the legend. And oh, just thinking it. Did you ever see Frankenstein's Castle? It's a kid show that Vincent
Oh yeah, I've
Price
seen
is
that.
on. It's
Yeah,
on
that's on YouTube.
it's on yeah, it's on Throwback TV if you ever get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're doing the fight sequences and all that, right? And like I said, you know, I was told it was sort of like a dance, right? Do you actually sit and with the person you're dealing with, right? And go over it like ad nausea ahead of time? Or are you sort of like you guys sort of know what you're doing, right? And just go right in and
When
do
we
it.
when we did it, a lot of it was just straight up on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't much times we had a chance to get with each other to practice. Could like schedules are so frantic with much more independent production. So
Okay. So basically, it was like a real martial arts fight because you guys just went in, you know, pretty much said, "All right, let's fly over the table, and I win this one." uh, so, Nikki, right? You played his mom or his wife? I'm sorry, you played his wife, correct?
Correct. Yeah, his
Real
deceased
quick.
wife. Yep.
real
Yeah.
quick, I have to get back in the gym. I have to get back to practice. I'll catch you guys later. All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you very, very
Thank you.
much. All right. Take care, man.
Rock on, bro.
So what was it like playing his wife? I know your role was kind of limited in the full length one, right? But uh how did you get the part, and you know what was your inspiration when you did it?
Yeah, so Jim, just like refresh my memory, but this was kind of like Dolby. I was definitely newer to like principal role acting. This was actually my second role, like as like one of the lead actors. I was currently on a TV show on Amazon Prime, and wasn't it Nate, Jim, who your friend didn't he basically mention like, oh hey, my friend, wasn't it Nate that he kind of like, because you had worked with him previously, and then I was working with him on the TV show. So I feel like kind of through the grapevine, I heard about this audition. You had posted on like film.org or something. Is that right, Jim? Okay. Yeah. So it's like, it feels like so long ago. Because now I'm working on my third film with Jim. So this was the first one I got to work with him on. But yeah, no, it's really fun. So because I was definitely like a newer actor, like newer to lead roles and principal roles, it was kind of a fun, in a way, like getting my feet wet, just because, like you said, it's one of those, I mean, like 2 scenes, but they're flashback scenes, but they're imperative of kind of like, I'm the reason Xknight does what he does and how he keeps going. So I'm kind of like the fuel to his fire and the fuel to like what he does in his present life. So it was really fun. I am cast a lot as like the girl next door, the wife, the girlfriend, you know, kind of like that very sweet, genuine person. So in terms of like getting like mentally ready, like it wasn't that hard, just because I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll just be me. But no, it was really cool getting to work with everyone. And like I said, just being basically truly my first like film to be a part of. It was a great experience.
Wow. Now, what was it like working with Jim?
Oh, I love it. He's so professional. Like, what I love is, like any actor.
I'm gonna mute his earphone. So now really tell me the story.
No, truly though, like, as any actor knows, you can have 2 different types of directors. The one that's on the fly of just being like, hey, we're filming tomorrow, like be ready. And then Jim was one of those like truly like a week, 2 weeks in advance. He'd be like, here's your call sheet, here's what time you're due, here's what scenes we'll be doing. And like, so you could actually prepare like mentally, physically, everything. So no, he truly, and I'm not just saying this, he truly is one of the best directors I've worked with, because he is so organized, so on top of everything. He has the vision for what he wants to do and accomplish. So no, truly, it's like one of the, I'm always so excited when I get to work on one of his projects, because I know I'm in for a good time. So no, I'm saying that so genuinely.
Yo, what'd you think about that? Oh my God. So, Dead Skulls to Heavy, right? But, like, did he make Xknight? That right now, that I'm not sure he's saying he did. I don't know yet. But, and the other question, is Warpel all in his head? Like, is he actually going out to another dimension? Like, I haven't found out. Hopefully in the next segment we find all that out. All right. Now, his ex-wife, right? Is she the villain? Right? I don't know. And I can't wait to get to the end of this, because it's all coming together. But like a good movie, it's not giving you all the answers before the end, which is fantastic. But, oh my God, the gore in this is just fantastic. And I feel bad for him, because the scars on his face, right? That's why he's got to wear that shell in it, like that mask, right? Looks like a big old shell. Actually, it kind of looks like the shell from Grotesque, but that's a whole nother movie, right? And, oh man, like I just feel bad for him, right? But I got a funny feeling he's going to come out on top at the end, you know?
You've got mail.
We got mail. All right. So what do we got? We have jokes from Johann Schmidt. Isn't that Red Skull's name? Listen, guys. Use your real name. It's funny, but not funny. All right. Oh, his real name is Jimmy Maloney of Mayfair. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. All right. So what do you call Iron Man without a suit? Stark naked. All right, you're hitting it out of the park so far, Jimmy. All right, what's a villain's favorite part of the joke? The punchline. What do you get when you cross a superhero with a potato? Sputterman! Sputterman, Sputterman can make fries like a spud can. Alright, whatever. What do you get when you cross a superhero and the Dead Sea? A dead pool! What do you call a pair of villainous twins? Loki-alikes. That was pretty good. Alright. What was baby Superman the only kid? Why was baby Superman the only kid at the playground? Because the sign said supervision required. Okay, super. All right. Where does Spider-Man hang out in his spare time? On the World Wide Web. Which game show features superheroes? The Greatest Cape. All right, Jimmy. You made up for the Red Skull thing. All right. What's the difference between Batman and a robber? Batman can go into a store without robbing. Why does Loki hate the day after Wednesday? Because it's Thor's Day. Good Viking joke. I'll give you that. Why is Spider-Man good at playing baseball? He knows how to catch flies. Where do most superheroes live? Cape Town. Right. Two more. What happens when Batman is late to play baseball with Robin? There's a rain delay. What do you get if Batman and Robin were smashed by a steamroller? Flatman and ribbon. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Flatman and ribbon. Jimmy Maloney, thank you very much. And I'll be back.
Warriors, I'm here with Jim Canatelli. He's an author, he's a movie star, right? He's done a ton of independent movies. And the one movie that he did that we had on Cemetery Cinema was Slaughter Beach. The guy's a great actor, right? And from what I understand, he's a hell of an author, and he's done a lot of other independent movies. So let's see what he has to say. Jim, tell me all about yourself and some of the cool things you got going on.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Jim Canatelli, and we're here selling my movie Xknight, Escape from Warpville, based from my comic book series under the same name. And the story's about Xknight, a gothic superhero who fights demons in the purgatory realm known as Warpville. And he has to stop these demons until they come into our world. And in the process of that, he saves a young woman named Sophia Domino. And in our comic book series, she becomes her own superhero known as Dr. Nightmare. And so we have our feature-length film and the short Xknight film, which started it all. And outside of writing and illustrating my own comic book series, Xknight, Dr. Nightmare, I'm also a writer and director. My friend Star and I, a mini-series called Cinefear, which is on our YouTube channel, Xknight Productions, under the same name. And Cinefear is a mix of Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt inspiration. And sorry, if I'm my words there. But and you can find on our YouTube channel. We started the first 2 episodes. I directed the first one, and our second one was directed by Amy Lynn Ryding, who's also a frequent actress in our films. So you want to check those out if you love mystery, horror. It's both. And outside that, I've also acted in some films for Silent Shadow Productions, Welcome Home, and they did a Halloween fan film called Halloween 7, The Return of the Curse, or The Curse Returns, either one. If you love the Thorn trilogy, the Halloween series, that's a fan film that's in that. And Dan Williams is our writer and director on that. I've also worked for Clockout Films. I was their Fishman Sam. Ahoy, mateys.
Excellent bit. That was a great bit.
Thank you, kind. Yeah. And to the Defender blunders, you may have won the battle, but I, awesome boy, still king of the sea.
So, did you actually live at the end of the movie? I know you got dropped in the water.
Well, all I can say is this. Do slasher villains really die at the end of the movie?
So, will there be a Slaughter Beach too?
There should be. I'm sorry, I broke character a little bit. That's all right. So yes, our writer-director Dan Davis has definitely talked about doing a sequel. So
excellent. I had a blast with the first one. All right, so guys, Delco Horror Haven actually hosted
Slaughter Beach at the Media Townhouse here in Media, right? Where we're going to be all day tomorrow. I can't wait, right? And it was a great film. And I can't, if they do Slaughter Beach 2, I can't wait because it was good. It was funny. It was hokey. I loved it. I loved it. It was one of those really good independent movies. It was a good time movie, right? And you guys saw the movie on Cemetery Cinema Labor Day weekend, right? You got to keep an eye on this guy, right? Did my mic go out? Keep an eye on this guy. This guy, he does a lot of really cool stuff. So, it's Mad Darbarian for Cemetery Cinema, right? I'm here with Jim Canatelli, star, author, the man, the myth, the legend of Slaughter Beach and Xknight films. Mad Darbarian out, Cemetery Cinema, WON, New York. See ya. I'm back. Oh my God. That movie turned out fantastic at the end. Oh God. And the fight with the pirates, it was great. And his poor wife. Now I understand the whole story with the wife, right? That was creepy, fantastic, right? I felt bad, right? And then his mom was in it. Oh man. What a great movie, right? And I can't wait till the next Xknight comes out, right? If you get a chance, right, watch this. He has it on Tubi, right, and on YouTube. But go to your favorite comic book store. If you live in the Delco area, there's a place called Comic Universe. Great comics. You guys will love it. Pop in there. I am sure that he has a whole display with the Xknight stuff. Oh man. So, all right. So, how many tombstones do I give this? Okay. Now, for the first one, I'm going to give it 4. Now, the first one I'm going to give 3.5 tombstones because it was really good, but again, it needed work, right? But that's why they do like a pilot kind of thing, you know? But then for Xknight, that gets a 4, maybe a 4.25, okay? Now, for me, right, a 5 would be Endgame, right? But this was very, very good. Give it 4.25. Something that I'm going to want to watch again, right? And I'm going to go buy that on a DVD or Blu-ray, whatever he happens to have it on. Because trust me, that's going to be a movie that I'm going to want to watch again and again. Oh my God. Jim Canatelli, you are the man, the myth, the legend. That was a double thumbs up. And I don't give these out. Like Rodney used to say, I only give these out when they deserve it. But, great, great movie, man.
You got mail.
We got mail. Oh my God. So what do we got? Now, we got a letter from Hal Jordan. If you were to be a superhero, what would you be or what superpowers would you have? Well, I mean, being the Mad Darbarian, I am a superhero to the Darbarian tribe and the whole Tri-Darby kingdom. But my superpower is basically, you know, my good looks and the fact that I got the wolf blade, which is right now out getting sharpened. I don't have it with me today. But, let's see. I would want 2 things. The power of invisibility, right? And the power to read and manipulate people's minds. Sort of like Professor X and like the Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four. All right? Let me explain why. If I'm invisible, I can do anything. There would be no crime, right? Now, the fact that I'm invisible would probably mean I'm running around naked, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. I would want my invisibility to be able where I could have my clothes on, all right? Right off the bat, just saying, no one wants a nude me running around, even if I am invisible. Second, be able to read people's minds and then control them. Yeah. You know, because I could walk into the bank and I could, you know, be visible, go up to the teller, and I could read her mind, and she's going, oh no, the Darbarian's back in here again. But then I would project into her mind, and I would say, put $1 million in his account. And then I would walk up and say, hi, I would like to make a deposit. Can you put $1 million in my account? And she would go, yes. And then I would be a millionaire Darbarian. So I would be tribal leader, king, and millionaire. You got to dig that, right? What would I do with all my money? I'd spend it on myself, but, that's me. Okay. But, so guys, right? Do me a favor, right? We have a boatload of stuff coming up on WON starting in May. I forget the actual date, but I think it's May 5th. We have a whole new daytime lineup on WON, right? And it starts out with Sir Lancelot, which is a great series from the 50s about like King Arthur and that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to that, right? It's not like Lance Link, the chimp. No. This is actually like King Arthur stuff, which will be really cool, right? But then he's got the Jersey Bearcats indoor football, right? He's got the First Responders League, right, for football. And I think it's the Blaze is the team that he has, which will be the home team. But they're going to have a ton of games. And that's great football. That's actually firefighters and policemen playing football, right? And they're not playing for money. They're playing for pride. So that's a really good league. And actually, they played around here not too long ago, right? They played an exhibition game, to earn money. Because basically, the whole idea of that league is for those guys to play, and then they're earning money for relief funds for the families of the firefighters and the police. So, if you guys are up there in Brooklyn, go see them, right? Support them on WON, right? But then we still got the Danbury Hat Tricks, right? They're in the playoffs now. And let me tell you, man, they're one hell of a team. And they're in a fighting league, right? There's at least a fight a night. It's like going to Cookies and Kathy's back in the old neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And then we have the wrestling, we have the bowling, right? All kinds of great stuff. And then other than WON Sports, we got WON Movies, right? Oh, man. And Friday night is movie night. We got the Big Apple movie at like 4. We got WON Theater at 6, right? You got us at 8. You got Offbeat Cinema at 10. And then after Offbeat Cinema at midnight, what do you have? The Midnight Movie. Friday nights, you come home from work, you sit yourself down, you grab yourself a pop, and you sit down and you watch WON. You will be entertained and not disappointed, right? Maybe a little disappointed when my show comes on. No, you love my show. That's why you're watching, all right? So watch WON and all the great things we got going on. Another thing we got going, guys, here's our email address, right? Do me a favor. If you like us, drop us a note, right? If you don't like us, right, tell us. Don't tell the boss because he reads it, right? And if there's a movie you want to see, let us know. If you have an independent film you want us to show, like we had Xknight with Jim Canatelli's team, right? You let us know, right? And you set us up and we'll show it. And we're going to have our Shorty Fest again on Black Friday. So we're going to start collecting videos for that. And that was the highest rated show we had last year for Black Friday. And considering they had the NFL on against us, those people. And I missed the game. But I was watching our show because I love our show, right? Do that, right? And let me tell you, we are going to be looking, for a ton of shorts, right? We had 21 that we showed. I think it was 21 that we showed. We actually turned down probably a half dozen, right? But that's the quality of these shorts. And if you get a chance, right, and your local area is having a film fest, right, go, right? I went to one in a place called Media, right, not too long ago. Great film fest. Tons and tons of science fiction and horror movies, right? And then next weekend, right, we got the Westchester Film Fest, right? And you guys know Westchester. And they're going to have a boatload of films. And it's funny, pardon me, oh my goodness, that beer is kicking me. Last year we went, right, a couple of the movies that were at the Westchester Film Fest showed up on our Shorty Fest, and they were spectacular. There's a lot of great independent talent out there, and if you're one of them, let us know, and we will feature your movie, okay? Now, if you guys want to get a hold of us, right, you can get a hold of Dr. Dread. He's at hashtag Dr. Dread Reviews. He's on all the socials, right? And he's got a million shows, right? I mean, I don't know how he's getting his other shows done when he's sitting at home with a broken leg, right? But let me tell you, right? He's got Dr. Dread Reviews, right? On the Monster Channel. He's got, and on YouTube, he's got Trailer Park. He's got, oh my goodness, Dr. Dread Reviews, Trailer Park. He has the Obit, which is usually on after this show. And then I have The Wake, which is on after that, usually about 10:30. Sometimes I have it on Saturday morning, depending on what I got going on Friday night, right? And then he has, and Murder Table Monday, 5 o'clock on Mondays, right, on Facebook. And what he does, it's just sort of him having a rap session with everybody, right? And trust me, he has so many friends in the horror community, right? And he goes on for like half an hour, 35, 40 minutes, right? And just the people that are in there, in the chat and all that, it's very entertaining. And he does some fun things, right? And you get to know the guy a little bit better, you know? And you want to get a hold of me, go out to the @ sign, right? At Mad Darbarian. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. I'm on everything, right? Instagram, right? And when you go out to those places, right, I got a lot of my stuff. I do The Wake after this. I go out and I do a lot of red carpet movies, right? Like last week I did the Amateur, great movie, right? And I have a couple other ones coming up. I miss Sinners, and it's killing me, right? I was all set up, and I'm on the wait list for that. Didn't get a chance to go. So Sinners, if you're out there, you want to throw me a free ticket, I'll give you a good write-up on Rotten Tomatoes. If you want to look up my stuff on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm there. And you want to look up Cemetery Cinema, right? We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook, right? And, right, we're on IMDb. Yes, Cemetery Cinema has an IMDb website, right? It's fantastic, you know. Go out there. You can check out all the cool things. You can read about us. You can read about the doc. You're right. You can read about the boss. All kinds of great things out there. All right. And, yeah. That's about it, guys. So, next week, we got I'm Haunted Too, right? With our good friend, Elizabeth Chamberlain. We have an interview with her. We actually did an interview with her that was a whole hour, right? What a great lady. She is all class, right? And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put half on when we have I'm Haunted 2, then the other half on when we have I'm Haunted 3 in May, right? So, guys, keep watching. We have a boatload of great movies coming up, right? All through the summer, and it's going to be fun, man. So, hey, warriors, sweet dreams, patience, pleasant slumber, and guys, remember, keep it creepy. And Doc, I hope you feel better. Skull, brothers. See ya. And blib, 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 blib. That's all, folks.